members of the culture. I am Ra, and you are here. Welcome in, everybody. I want to talk about, first of all, sorry, pardon my manners. Hope everybody's doing okay out there in internet land. Hope you and your loved ones are doing great at this particular point in time. Now, that out of the way, definitely want to talk about today's topic. It was on my mind because this is something that's coming up a whole lot, and it's an interesting topic, and people feel different ways about it. But I'd be wrong if I didn't chime in on it because I got an opinion. I always do, right? So, without further ado, I want to talk about re-releases and revisions. All right, now before you come for me in the comment section, please, I do want you to go to the comment section. Let me be clear on that. But before you come for me in the comment section, understand that I'm only giving you the view of someone that is an observer. I'm a participant. I'm a consumer, right? I don't pick any one side over the other. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. So I'm giving you the honest opinion. My opinion is the same opinion that you should have as a regular consumer of these products, as a member of the culture, as we would say. So, first topic I want to take is re-releases, right? Been a lot of talk about re-releases because as of the time of this recording, those of you that are in the know should be aware that a re-release has just dropped, and some people feel some type of way about it. And what re-release am I talking about? There's been so many, but I guess I'll talk about two in particular. Now, obviously, I can start with these two, for example. So for those of you that don't know, Dan Yoon, if I'm pronouncing his name right, I hope I am, just recently announced that these two figures are about to come up for re-release. You'll be able to pre-order them again. Now, in the case of this guy right here, Kingpin, I think this is like the third time that he's come up in the last, less than 3 years. I mean, he's a hard figure to get. He's expensive. If you go to him on the aftermarket, which is pretty much what you had to do, but he's pricey. I'll say Kingpins are going to run you about $50, realistically. He's a great figure, no doubt about it. Absolutely, you need him in your Spider-Man Rogues Gallery collection. There's no doubt about it. Cable right here from the Zabu Build-A-Figure wave. As you can see, these are good figures. I personally like them a whole lot. I thought they were available for a while for people, but they were Cable wasn't really so pricey. I think he was around $30 at the time, something like that. 25 to $30. His Kingpin, it was on the higher end. That was like closer to 40 or maybe 50, depending on where you bought him from. And if you went aftermarket, whoo! Let's not even talk about that. But some people, I feel different ways about it. Now, me personally, I have these figures. But if I didn't, I would personally be happy. For one, that I got a chance that Hasbro re-released this, and I got a chance to get them without having to pay crazy aftermarket prices. Don't get me wrong. You know how I feel about, the scalpers. But this isn't really about them. This is about Hasbro re-releasing something that they, for whatever reason, they feel enough people don't have, and that there's a big enough demand for them to re-release. And I agree. There are a lot of people that don't have them. So if I was somebody that didn't have these, I would be kind of elated right now that I got an opportunity to get them. I mean, we're talking about Kingpin and Cable, two popular characters. Who in the world, why would you be mad about that? I mean, and not for nothing, without re-releases, how would I get something cool like this Venom Pool? I never got the original characters from the Build-A-Figure wave. That was a while back. Had they not re-released this as a standalone figure, I might not have got it. And I got to be honest with you. I think this thing's dope as hell. But I would have missed out on it had they not done that. So in my opinion, sometimes re-releases are really the way to go. So while I get the side of people that say, hey, you should be spending your time, you should be spending your money and your resources on giving us something new instead of re-releasing the same thing, there's something to be said about that. There are people, as I just described, like myself, that never got those particular characters in a Build-A-Figure way, or they missed out in the previous example I gave, that never got a chance to get Kingpin or Cable. So, in my opinion, re-releases can be a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. If that's all you do, I get it. But re-releasing sometimes, it's a good thing. In the case of Hasbro, a lot of times, these things are not available. We know that. You guys have seen my videos on the channel and countless others where it's not available in your area. The restocks at your Walmarts, your Targets, everywhere are terrible. So you can't get your hands on them. And unless you go to secondhand market, and sometimes that's not really favorable. Secondhand market might be out there with head busting prices. And, so I get it. It goes both ways. I see both sides of the argument. But I have to say, me personally, I got to say, as long as it's not out of control, I definitely support re-releasing figures. No doubt about it. Next thing I want to tackle is the revisions. And by revisions, I mean definitive edition, ultimate edition. This is the one, right? So let's go ahead and pivot for a second, and let's about that. Let's go ahead and pivot for a second. I had a little bit of an error right there. Let's go ahead and pivot for a second and talk about re-releases. That's what's next. Now, when I heard about revisions, this was really a conversation that came up in. It happened to be on a Hot Toys page I was looking at. It's where the discussion came up, one of those Hot Toys groups, And the discourse there, the main issue there was some guy got upset about this guy who just got released here. And I'm sure you've seen the review on the channel. Got to shamelessly plug it. That would be Dr. Doom. And he was upset because basically he was like, well, they hadn't made a Robert Downey version, and they're going to do it. Okay, so let me be clear on something. This to me is not a Hot Toys issue. It's not a Hasbro issue. It's not a McFarlane issue. Yes, of course they're going to re-release figures. That's something that's going to happen till the end of time. I've said that a million times. It's very rare that you're going to see something that you could determine as the definitive edition of anything, in my opinion. It's just rare that happens. You're not going to get a definitive edition. I mean, sometimes I've actually seen figures released that say the definitive edition, and I call hogwash on that because it's rare. I'm not saying sometimes it's not a one and done. Obviously, if you're familiar with HasLabs, for instance, if you've paid attention to HasLabs, we know about the Sentinel, we know about Galactus and Giant Man. I mean, so there were such a things as one and dones. You guys know how I love my Galactus back there. He's a one and done. Now, obviously, Hot Toys is making one, but it's not the same as that. As far as Hasbro is concerned, that's my Grail piece, and that ties into something else. So, is there such a thing as a Grail piece? People in this discourse, he said, man, you can't have no Grail pieces if they just gonna re-release it. If you're just gonna have another one, I push back on that a little bit for this. A Grail piece is determined by the collector. It's not determined by the place that makes it. So the manufacturer doesn't determine it. Groups don't determine it. The person that spends their money, their resources to acquire that particular figure, and they say that's their Grail. That's who determines it. The person that spends their hard-earned resources to acquire that figure, that's who says it's a Grail piece. It doesn't matter. Like definitive edition, you know what? I've gotten some figures where people have said, man, this might be the best one. They've made like 4. This is the best one so far. And I might say, to that I say, hey, what matters is that figure right for you? In your mind, did you spend enough money? Did it justify that purchase? Is it good enough for you? And if the answer to that is yes, then that's your Grail piece, and really that's all that should matter. You can't worry about companies re-releasing or doing revisions of characters because that's just how the world works, man. They're going to keep putting out figures. That's not going to change. And obviously, in the case of Hot Toys, I'm talking about Logan here, right? He's about to be re-released, the Astonishing Wolverine. He was out for a little while, and I think it was a great figure. I have it. I'll be honest with you. So those of you that didn't get it, I mean, yeah, you need a chance to get it. But realistically, is he the definitive Wolverine? Some places say yes, like some people say yes, and some people say no. It really depends on whether that's your definitive edition or not to it, because how many Wolverines have they made? Like 30 or 40? That's not going to stop. They're going to keep doing it. Guess what? When they recast another actor, then you're going to, just like we got Hugh Jackman figures, you're going to get another one of whoever that particular actor is. Whether they go with the Liam guy that's doing it for the game, if he becomes a new live action one, or whoever fills Hugh Jackman's boots when he hangs them up finally, when he's 90. Whoever gets that, you better believe there's going to be a figure that has his likeness. Hot Toys is going to do it. Sideshow, Hot Toys is going to do it. Hasbro's going to do it. SH Figure Arts is going to do it. They're all going to do it. Get in on that because they all want that cash. Because they know we as consumers are going to buy our figures. If Wolverine's your favorite, which he happens to be my favorite X-Man and one of my favorite characters, I'm always going to have a Wolverine. I probably own too many. Not counting this dude, I probably got 6 of them. But And it's easy to do because he's popular. Popular characters, they tend to make a lot of. McFarlane makes a lot of Batman and Superman. People talk about that like it's just him. What the hell you think Mattel's gonna do? They're gonna make a whole bunch of them too, right? So let's just be real. Popular characters sell. They're your anchor beings, if you can say that. So you're gonna always have a bunch of them. But let me not get too far off the topic. The topic when it comes to revisions, right? This right here, do I think Hot Toys is not as fast to make re-revisions? They do it, but from what I can tell of it as a new collector in there, I don't see them releasing a bunch. Now there's a few Iron Man, but it takes a minute. They don't make one, and I'm not judging Hasbro or anybody else that does this, right? So Hasbro will release something, and then all of a sudden, next year, here's a new revision. Hot Toys usually takes a while. They're kind of slow. I mean, not in a bad way. I appreciate that. Take your time. Give me a figure. Let this breathe, okay? Let me enjoy this before you come out with like, bam, here's the new Doctor Doom. All right, enough. All right, so I prefer the approach. I personally wish Hasbro would take that approach sometimes and let the figures that we have to pre-order and keep track of and save for and budget and do all this to get this figure only 3 months later. Here's a new one. I mean, I get it. I get it. Trust me. But by the same token, I understand both sides of it. Companies are here to make money. They got to make money. As long as it's going to make them money, they're going to do it. And that's just what it is. That's just bottom line. Personally, this is my definitive Doctor Doom. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. If I never have another Doom, particularly not a Hot Toys one, if I don't have another one, I'm good with it. As far as my Logan, this is my definitive Logan. If I never get another one, I'm good. So people have to understand, when it comes to figures like this, and I think this thing is awesome. You guys have seen the review on the channel. I love this Logan, and I got a lot of love for this Doctor Doom right here. I think this Doctor Doom is absolutely outstanding, right? But understand something. You have to know, like I have to know, no matter how much the figure costs, no matter what you went through, if it's you that determines the value of it. Just like when I say you resell something, the person that determines the value of the resale is the person that's selling it and how much a person's willing to pay for it. So if I sell something and my price, you might say, man, your price is high. It's crazy. I'm the one that sets the value. I'm the one that set the price. I'm selling it. If nobody buys it, maybe I mark it down, maybe I take it away. But I'm the one that sets it. You don't determine that price, right? The person that's selling it determines the price, and the market actually really, people say the market sets the price. No. The person that's selling it sets the price. The market accepts it. And if the market accepts it, then it's kind of, that's the price. So understand that, and as long as you got a grasp on that, everything should be good. But please understand that revisions are not a bad thing. Definitive editions is something that's going to continue to happen, man. And if that's something that bothers you, then maybe this hobby ain't, it might not be for you. And as much as I would love for everything to be brand new, and really he's not, let's be honest, he's a revision, but he is a really good figure. Review up on the channel. As much as I would love for everything to be a shuma-gorath, right? I'm sorry, Gargantos, I don't want to get in no trouble. As much as I would love for everything to be a new sculpt like this or a new product, because that obviously is what drives it, right? You got to have some new stuff, innovation, new products. As much as I would love for that to be the case, I understand that it's not always going to be like that. You're going to have revisions. This Juggernaut is getting some good reviews, but at the end of the day, is he a revision? Yes, he is still a revision. Some people are saying that's the definitive Juggernaut. I personally feel that the definitive one is the Marvel Select one up there on my shelf. You got to have that. But this guy, I think, is a worthy addition to your collection. Obviously, I think shuma-gorath is. Gargantos. Like Dragon Man or Venom, But remember, the worth of these things is all about you. You're determining the worth of them. I've said it a million times. Speak with your wallet. If you feel like, hey, Hasbro or McFarlane or Hot Toys or whoever it is, if you feel like, man, they're not giving me what I need, either go to someone else or don't buy the items, Let your wallet do the talking, because we can do what I'm doing right now. And although this is informative and very helpful, we can do this till the cows come home and it won't change anything. The only thing that changes things is money. That's what companies understand. I know it sounds bad, but it's really the legit truth. They're here to make money. And if we speak with our wallets, that's the fastest way to affect change. And that's just me being real with you. I can't lie about it. Now, personally, do I have an issue with revisions? As I said, as long as it's in check, no. You're gonna always see definitive edition. I mean, what do you think like this whole maximum thing is? A game. I mean, like Gamerverse is really a line that's based off of video games. Either like in the case of the Venom, the Spider-Man game, or like him, or Gargantos, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So these guys, at the end of the day, I mean, look where they come from. I mean, they come from properties that you already understand. Then chances are you probably already have a Venom. Maybe not a Gamerverse Venom, but you have one. You may have a Juggernaut. Now, this guy's new, so I don't think there's been one of him. But correct me if I'm wrong. There probably is one of him somewhere out there, at least one. But I mean, as a whole, I think he was necessary because you hadn't seen him. If it has been, it hadn't been one done obviously to this scale. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, these companies have to make money. That's why they are here. Okay, so I understand it. As long as it's kept in check and not out of control, I don't have an issue with it. That's just my 2 cents of it. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it because I already understand the way this works and I understand the fastest way to affect change is with a wallet. But personally, I don't have an issue with it because it's not out of control yet. But those are just my thoughts on revisions and additions and all of that and re-releases. But you guys have listened to me ramble for long enough. I'm sorry it took a while, but this is something I'm passionate about. And you guys know I can talk when I'm passionate. So let me know in the comments down below how you feel. Do you feel it's okay for them to re-release? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What's your opinion on it? How do you feel about definitive editions or re-releases of figures? How do you feel about that? Are you on the side of that? Do they do it too much? Should they do it at all? Let me know what you think. You've heard my opinion. Now I want to hear yours in the comment section down below. And while you're there in the comment section, please be so kind. Give us a like, share, and a subscribe. I really would appreciate it. It helps us more than you realize. Until the next video, when we get together again, as I always say, on behalf of these two guys, on behalf of all these figures, on behalf of collectors everywhere, please continue to stay tuned. Please continue to stay collecting. And above all, please continue to stay great. God bless y'all, and I will see y'all on the next one.